today's episode, we're going to talk about understanding Ramadan in Moroccan culture. And we welcome back Miss Hiba and Mr. Sam. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Glad to have you back. 2 years ago, we did an episode about Ramadan, and it was a solo episode. And when I did it, I mainly talked about the religious part of it, what people will expect while they are traveling during Ramadan in Morocco. And it was a really, really good episode in terms of the feedback that we got from the audience. But this episode is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to dig deep into the religious part of it. We're just going to touch bases. And then we're going to give you a few ideas, maybe itineraries, if you're traveling to the north side of Morocco or the south side of Morocco, what to expect and how to get by on a daily basis, basically. So but first, we're going to start with the spiritual significance of Ramadan in the Muslim world and also in Morocco. And we'll start with you, Hiba, first, please.
Sure. Well, Ramadan is a specific month for Muslims in general and for us as Moroccans. It's the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, and it has a spiritual impact on everyone. So when we talk about fasting, which stands for the core practice in Ramadan, revolves around abstaining from drink, food, and other worldly pleasures from dawn to dusk. This allows for spiritual reflection, self-discipline, as well as feeling empathy towards the people who are poor or less fortunate, encouraging a sense of togetherness and solidarity among everyone.
So you said that it's from dawn to dusk. So basically, can people fast and drink some water or smoke, maybe hookah, maybe cigarettes, maybe e-cigarettes?
While fasting? No.
Yes. So basically, in Ramadan, you stop everything. There's no food, nothing goes into your system from the sun up until the sun goes down. Okay, perfect. Just wanted to clarify.
It is included. It is included when I said, for example, the worldly pleasures. So talking about charity, which is another important component that goes hand in hand with fasting during Ramadan. It stands for zakat in Arabic, standard Arabic, which is giving alms. So Moroccans specifically during Ramadan increase their charitable contribution in order to help the poor people and the less fortunate, so that they feel each other, creating a spiritual environment.
Okay, perfect. So just want to add something to what you have just said, Hiba. So zakat, it's different than taxes. So just want to clarify that with the audience. So in Ramadan, there's a specific zakat, and zakat, zaki, is to cleanse, the word from Arabic. So to cleanse your money, basically. That's what the meaning of the zakat. So you help the poor and the needy. And in Ramadan, zakat, there's a specific time for it that it needs to be given out.
Yeah, well, zakat or charity, it should be given before al-Fitr prayer to the ones who need and less fortunate, or the poor ones.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to add a little bit to the charity or zakat. So I'm going to talk about Morocco part, and I'm going to talk about the US part. In Morocco, basically you have to give that money to, in the mosque, and it needs to be given before the Eid prayer. The Eid prayer, Eid means celebrating the feast, because we fasted the whole month of Ramadan. It's a celebration. That's what we call it. Eid means celebration, and it needs to be given out before the prayer. And normally it's around, it depends, I would say give or take in Morocco, maybe around 9 a.m. In the US, they have it depending, your neighborhood, your state, your city. In some places, they have it 3 different times of the day. So let's say if you go to, there's a 7:30 prayer, you go to that 7:30 prayer, you need to give that zakat before that 7:30 prayer is concluded. Then if you have a 9:30 a.m. prayer, then you need to give it out the same way before that prayer is completed. And then they have another prayer in some cases 10:30, and you need to give out that zakat before the 10:30 prayer is completed. So just want to clarify that for a little bit. So when we talk about, the spiritual significance of Ramadan, there's so many different components. You talked about fasting, you talked about charity, and I'm going to move to Sam and ask him what else people do in Ramadan. Basically the locals. In case when you visit Morocco and you see those things, you kind of get used to them and you kind of expect them in a way.
For the prayers in Ramadan, besides the 5 prayers we are doing every day, in Ramadan we increase the connection with God, and we, especially after the iftar, which is after the sunset, we move together to the mosques, and sometimes we pray in the squares in Morocco. I think all the people, including kids, including men and women, they come in together. The prayers which calls Tarawih in Morocco, it's an amazing atmosphere, and it's very good and something very special for the Muslims during this sacred month of Ramadan.
Okay, so basically, yes, it's a gathering in all the mosques, and sometimes what Sam said is basically sometimes there's an overflow of people praying, so they can pray outside the mosque, and you can see that overflow sometimes on the streets and things like that. Yes, and these are different. And there's some they do it after the Isha prayer, which is the last prayer for the day, and then before the first prayer again of the day, which is Fajr, Salat al-Fajr. They do it about, I would say, about an hour and a half way before that. So there's 2 actually. After the Isha prayer and 1 before al-Fajr prayer. Thank you so much. What else we need to talk about, Sam?
Also, I want to talk about one of the components of spiritual significance of Ramadan is reciting Quran.
Okay.
Or reading Quran during this month became more encouraged during Ramadan. Like that, the Muslims coming together to reciting the Quran, especially in communities, in families, or sometimes in mosques, especially after the third prayer, which is Salat al-Asr, between Salat al-Asr and the sunset. So people, especially communities, as I said, and families coming together to recitate Quran and connect with God again, and to encourage also the small kids to know about the month of Ramadan.
Yeah, thank you for that, Sam. Yes, Ramadan is an amazing opportunity for a lot of schools, institutions, and mosques, and also when you said the kids, for them to know about Quran, to recitate the Quran, and also to memorize the Quran. And memorization of the Quran is not just for kids, but it's for everybody, all ages, and some of the best times that a lot of people we have seen do it is after the Fajr prayer, and also like Sam said before, midday prayer, which is Asr. It's not midday, it's the third prayer, and before sunset as well. So a lot of people, they just stay at the mosques and they just focus and recite the Quran. A lot of people do it at home as well, not necessarily at the mosque, but they do it at home as well. So they set specific time for them where they recite the Quran throughout the month of Ramadan. So now we're going to move to the communal traditions. What people expect or should expect when they visit Morocco, for example.
Well, we can talk about Ramadan without denoting Iftar and Suhoor, or Iftar and Suhoor. Iftar stands for the breaking meal fast at sunset, and Suhoor, the pre-dawn meal. So families and friends gather to join in the table of Iftar or Suhoor, exchanging topics as well as sharing delicious meals and dishes that create strong bonds together between them.
Okay, that's nice. So I just want to add something to Futur. We say in Morocco we say Iftar. Anywhere else they say Iftar. And then Suhoor. I remember as a kid, the time of the table. The table is very well decorated. There's many different dishes. It's just It's just beyond incredible. And also, just want to mention to the audience and the viewers, in Morocco, and I know this throughout the Islamic world, that people, we consume more food during Ramadan than we do on regular months or regular days. So there's a lot of food that it's been consumed during Ramadan, and you can see this, just from the way that the tables are set up. There's a specific way, specific dishes that are, related to Ramadan, and it's just an amazing experience for me. I remember as a kid, and also suhoor, which is you're asleep and you want your mom to come and wake you up because it feels so nice. And I remember as a kid, 10, 12, Ramadan at that time used to be in August, in the summertime. So there's no school. It's just me and my cousins. There's a lot of kids in the house. So when we wake up, it's a lot of fun. We eat, we have a good time, and we go back to sleep. So there's no school to go to, which is just incredible. So
Yeah.
So what I can add here is just if you want, for example, to witness the prayers after iftar or iftar in Morocco, I suggest to our audience to visit the Kutubia Mosque, especially. It's something which is special, and the way the people they gathering together to pray the Taraweeh is just unique, and you can
Yes.
you can see it and you can watch it. For example, you can even just stay for example a little bit far from the prayers, and you can just take photos or just stay listening to the Quran, reciting Quran in the mosque. Especially, I'm talking about the Kutubia Mosque in Marrakesh. Also, the Ramadan is an opportunity for families because, for example, I know many people that just say for their annual holidays or vacation, for example, they relate it to Ramadan because it's, as Azdean said, it's very special for families to come together to have iftar and to enjoy unique meals, including, for example, harira, which is the soup, shibakia pastries, for example, and many other dishes that is the highlight the tables during this holy month in Morocco.
Yes, thank you for that. And also just wanted to add to what Sam just said. Ramadan, there's a lot of invites, between friends, between, if you go into school, your classmates, your college mates, families. So it's really a very festive month, and it's beyond incredible. If you visit in Morocco, and you get a chance to go to somebody's house, or if you're staying at Riyadh, the food is just beyond incredible. They do iftar anywhere, whether it's a Riyadh, whether it's a hotel, even whether it's outside restaurants, street food. It's just incredible, and I encourage people to visit Morocco during Ramadan. And one of the reasons we're doing this episode is because I still see a lot of comments for people who have never been to Morocco. And they say, don't go to Morocco during Ramadan. It really, 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 really upsets me, because Ramadan is a beautiful time to go to Morocco and witness it. I mean, it's incredible. The hospitality is just amazing. The feeling is just amazing. You can feel that it's a different. Everything feels different during Ramadan than outside Ramadan. It's just, if you have a chance, don't miss it. We have people booking, this year in Ramadan. We've had them last year, the year before, and people love it. They love the experience because it's unique. There's nowhere else. You have to wait 11 months to experience that in Ramadan. So, anyways, the question that I have for you next, Hiba, is very briefly, and we're gonna talk about this with a little bit more in depth in a little bit. But what are some of the things that people or tourists, for example, can do in Ramadan? Because I know, back in when I was a kid and going to school, I have seen tourists and I have seen foreigners in Marrakesh. And, at that time, 30 years ago, things have changed. So what would you recommend for people to do during the month of Ramadan if they are traveling, for example, on their own, just exploring, just having a couple of days staying in Marrakesh or anywhere else, please?
Yeah. Well, as you've just said, Mr. Azdean, Morocco in Ramadan is has a unique charm. And in order to experience that, I highly recommend, if you are here during Ramadan, to join iftar or suhoor gatherings, either homestay experience, which means join a family, Moroccan family, that allows you to participate in authentic cooked food, which is iftar or sahur, gaining insights, exchanging experiences, as well as jokes. Moroccan people are very generous, and they like to invite, especially tourists, for that specific time. Also, you can, for example, do a restaurant experience, many restaurants all over Morocco. Wherever you go, they offer special Ramadan menus or iftar buffets, so you can experience the deep flavors of the Moroccan cuisine.
Okay, perfect. Sam, do you have anything to add to what Hiba said, please?
Yeah, for the restaurants, just I want to talk about restaurants. For example, there is like many restaurants, they have menus, special menus for Ramadan. And by the way, it's not that expensive, for example. And in the big cities like Marrakesh, for example, Casablanca, Fez, Tangier, many people, they have rich people. I'm talking about rich people or middle class people. They prefer to have their meal iftar at local restaurants instead of having it at home. Sometimes they invite even their families or their just cousins, for example, or to the restaurants to have like iftar together in a restaurant.
Thank you for that, Sam. So this is really, really good. So now what I would like to talk about next, Sam, is can you give us, let's say somebody's going, it doesn't matter with the tour operator, with us, on their own, renting a car, solo traveler, and they're going for a few days let's say they're from Casablanca to Rabat to Chefchaouen to Tangier to Fes, doing the north side of Morocco. What should they expect during Ramadan? Then we'll do the other question is the same, but going the south of Morocco instead. So what can people expect, please?
Thank you very much, Azdean. This is a very interesting question. During Ramadan, as you mentioned before, many people, they think that you don't have to travel to Morocco during Ramadan. But I said as well, I'm with you, and they said you have to visit Morocco during Ramadan. Talking about the itineraries, for example, in Ramadan, traveling, for example, the north side of Morocco during Ramadan, for example, let's see, you can travel from Casablanca to Rabat, then to Chefchaouen. You will have a challenge during the days, especially when you have a long journey. Let's say you are traveling from Casablanca to Rabat and then you travel later to Chefchaouen. I suggest to have lunch in Rabat because it's a big city, and they have some open restaurants, especially for tourists. But if you don't stop in Rabat and you travel directly to Chefchaouen, I suggest to have your snacks with you, fast food, for example, and you can order it in your accommodation, in your hotel, for example, or your riad ahead of time. Or you can take it, for example, there is like, before iftar, there is open markets in all towns, in all cities in Morocco, and you can buy some stuff there to take it with you, for example. When you stay for example, you're traveling from Chefchaouen to Tangier, you will have lunch in Tangier, it's okay. But when you travel, for example, again, from Chefchaouen to Fez through, for example, Meknes and Volubilis, you have to have a picnic or to take some sandwich or just some stuff with you to have. Snacks. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand exactly what you're saying, Sam. And we're going to come back to this point later. So there's no issue when you're traveling from major city to major city. You're fine. The distance between Casablanca and Rabat, it's about, give or take an hour and 15 minutes. Then you'll have really nice lunch. And then, you can take some stuff with you to go, just snacks, and go to your next destination. So the challenge is between destinations, between city to city, especially when you have a long drive. For example, when you're talking about between Fes and Chefchaouen, it's just mountains and mountains. And so you just have to be a little bit pre-organized and be more prepared. And that's all that it really takes. Now, the question that I have is Morocco closed during Ramadan? In terms of hotels, in terms of riads, in terms of restaurants, or if they are open, what time do they open? Because this is what I want to make sure we send the right message to the listeners, please, Sam.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. In Morocco, as you said, it's a tourist destination, and all the accommodations, restaurants, hotels are open during the month of Ramadan.
Okay.
They will serve you lunch. They will, if you stay, for example, in Riyadh or homes, they will serve you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And
Okay.
the restaurants for lunchtime are opened, and for dinner also are opened.
Okay. I remember because we had the interview with Le Duciel with Miss Kinsey,
Yeah.
and she said the same thing. And breakfast doesn't really have a specific time. They can serve it to you,
Yes.
any time.
Yes.
It could be just you at the restaurant. It can be many people. So, and again, we really, really want to emphasize everywhere you go is open in the major cities. So this is basically when you go and traveling through the north side. We have done that route, Sam. So we know the distance between city to city, and I can see it. And I remember us, stopping in Rabat and having lunch before going on our tour, because we just drove from Casablanca, and prior to that we did the tour with Khalil for the Hassan II Mosque. So it's all about really planning and doing it the right way. So what else can you add to the north side tour or itinerary, and then we can move to the south side, and
Yeah.
we can talk also about the difference between the two of them, please, Sam.
Yes. For example, when you are in Fez, for example, in the city tour of Fez, so don't worry about it. You will have your breakfast in your Riyadh. You will have lunch in the Old Medina of Fez, because all the restaurants and all the snacks are opened, so you can just enjoy your meal there without any issues. So you just ask your guide, and he will book any restaurant for you.
Yeah.
If you're traveling with us, our tour leader will take care of this, and even he will organize everything. For example, when we have a long journey traveling, for example, from Fas back to Marrakesh, it's a long drive. It takes like between 6 hours to 7 hours through the highway. So just ask your tour leader or your driver to buy some snacks for you, for example, ahead of time. Then you will be good.
Okay. Thank you for that. So now we're going to move to, we have an itinerary. Again, people, travelers, whether with us or by themselves or with somebody else, they're going through a southern part of Morocco. Let's say Marrakesh, then they're going to go to, Taddart, then Tluwat, then Ibn Haddou, then Dadz, then Merzouga, for example, Agdz, and Zagora, all those southern places. So what should they expect during that time or during their travel in Morocco, on the south side of Morocco, please?
Yeah, in the southern part of Morocco, there is a little bit of challenge, especially if you have a distance between, let's say, for example, you're traveling from Marrakesh to Ouarzazate. The only place where you can have lunch is Ibn Haddou, because it's popular, and
Yes.
all the restaurants are open during the day and night as well. So when you're traveling, for example, from Ouarzazate to Merzouga, either you have to stop in Toudra to have your lunch, or to have it in Tinjdad. Else, when between the cities, there is no way to have lunch in a restaurant. You have to take snacks with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, and again, when you're traveling, please keep in mind the distance between, if we say Marrakesh to Ibn Haddou, in Ramadan, probably you're going to make a few stops. It's an average in 4.5 hours. It's not a direct drive, but you need to consider and keep in mind the stops that you're going to make along the way and the pictures and stuff that you're going to take. So, and you need to time it the right way. If you're taking medication, if you have existing condition, you need to let us know, or you need to let your driver know, your guide know, your tour leader know, whoever you're traveling with. So just plan ahead and plan right and do it the right way. So anything else that you want to add to
Yes,
this,
sure.
Sam?
In Merzouga, when you have a journey, for example, another day in Merzouga, and you want to visit the nomads or the Khamliya village, make sure to tell your guide or your driver or who you traveled with to arrange a lunch for you.
Yes.
Because in Merzouga, it's challenging in terms of restaurants during the day.
Yeah, of course, because in Merzouga, literally the only place that you can have it is in the camp. And you need to let those, the people that you're staying with or the camp, know that, hey, you're going to need lunch, because they'll serve you dinner and they'll serve you breakfast, but they need to be aware that lunch needs to be served as well, because the nearest town it's probably 30 kilometers or so far away. So, and again, it's all really, really, really about planning. Ramadan is a beautiful time of the year for us. It feels different in Morocco. It's a lot of fun for me as a kid, as an adult. I love it because the invites, it's the atmosphere is different, the food is different. Then after everything, then we go to the square. It's alive. It's happening. It's always busy and it's always packed. So if you get a chance to visit Morocco during Ramadan, I highly recommend it. It's a different experience, but it's worth it. So we're getting close to the end of this episode. We just want to touch base really about Ramadan and what to expect for tourists, for travelers, solo travelers, female travelers, group travelers. So Hiba, do you have anything else to add in terms of traveling to Morocco during the month of Ramadan, please?
I just want from travelers to don't be afraid to visit Morocco during Ramadan. The atmosphere is extraordinary. As you said, the streets always busy and there is an extra activity during that specific time. So there is nothing to be scared of. Instead, you're going to have an amazing experience in terms of food, in terms of engaging in, for example, charity work and many other things.
Thank you so much, Hiba. Sam, anything to add before we...
What I want to add is when you're traveling especially to the small villages, make sure here there is no restaurants in the small villages, small towns in Morocco. So make sure you have snacks with you and you buy some stuff ahead of time before you are taking this experience. If you travel with us, of course, we arrange, for example, a lunch with a local family ahead of time, and you will enjoy it during your for example, let's see, your day trip to the Atlas Mountains, maybe your day trip to Agafay or to Essaouira, maybe. You will enjoy your lunch, including in this day trip or in this experience. I invite you to visit Morocco in Ramadan. It's a unique experience. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it because it's something special,
Yes.
not for Muslims, but for all the people worldwide.
Yeah, 100%. So I can only talk about the experience. I mean, I've been in Ramadan in different cities, and I remember in Rabat was really, really good experience for me. This is a long time ago. So Ramadan it's different, and it varies from city to city. The atmosphere, the love people show everybody else and each other and their families and their friends. It's a really, really, really unique time to visit Morocco. I highly recommend it. I encourage it. So I want to say thank you to the listeners. I want to say thank you to the viewers, and we're here for you. If you're traveling, reach out to us. You have any questions, we can help. We can plan your trip. We can just maybe direct you, give you some advice, and we really appreciate you listening to the podcast. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have traveled the world, but Morocco's allure beckons you. Destination Morocco is here to create the perfect once-in-a-lifetime Moroccan journey, tailored exclusively to your desires. Let us craft an itinerary that unlocks the secrets of this mesmerizing land just for you. For a luxurious, bespoke Moroccan adventure of a lifetime, visit destinationsmorocco.com. That's destinations with an S, Morocco.com. And let us turn your dreams into reality. Your amazing Moroccan experience awaits.